Okay, I will call this meeting to order of the Norfolk County Advisory Board. Um, the executive order on remote participation on March 28, 2025, Governor Healy signed into law House 62, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during a state of emergency, which includes a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsections 18 through 25. That action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings through June 30th, 2027. So we will have the roll call next. Phil, you on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Fantastic. I'm ready.
Okay, Gus, you want to call the roll?
Sure. Avon,
Here.
Bellingham,
Here.
Braintree, Brookline,
Here.
Canton,
Here.
Cohasset, Dedham,
Here.
Dover, Foxborough,
Here.
Franklin, Franklin, Holbrook, Medfield here, Medway, Millis, Milton,
Here.
Needham,
Here.
Norfolk,
Here.
Norwood,
Here.
Plainville, Quincy,
Here.
Randolph,
Here.
Sharon,
Here.
Stoughton,
Here.
Walpole,
Here.
Wellesley, Westwood, Weymouth, Rentham.
One thing, Phil, we got a note that Charlie Ryan from Braintree is actually on, and he said he's here.
Here, can you hear me?
Now we can hear
I
you.
can now. Yep,
Good,
we got
thank-
you.
Sorry
And
about that.
I'd like to confirm. I don't think Carl from Plainville is here, but I got a noise that didn't say here. Just confirming, Plainville, you are not here. Okay,
Correct. He's let us know he's out of the country, unfortunately.
got it.
Okay. Having said all that, we have a quorum at 69.66.
Say that again, Phil?
69.66.
69.66. So we do have a quorum. Okay. I'm going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance real quick. Paul from Foxborough, would you lead us in it?
Be positive.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, visible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. All right. We have one agenda item. I just wanted to want to chat about this real quick. As you may know, the registrar has issued a public letter that was actually sent to media outlets. It was not sent to the appointing authorities as I originally thought it was. It was sent out to the Franklin Observer, among other media outlets. And frankly, when I read it, it's a little, I would consider it to be inflammatory. There are some things that were brought up in there that I think are completely false. Some things that had a bit of truth to them. But all in all, I don't know if there's an agenda here, but for far too long, I believe that the advisory board has been silent on the attacks that we've had over the years, and we have been attacked multiple times, both in person and now in the court of public opinion. So when I read that, I realized that maybe it's time for the advisory board to take a stand and issue a statement of our own. I don't know where the commissioners stand as far as whether they plan on issuing a statement, and maybe that's where we need to start. But what I'm going to do is I did send out a copy of a draft letter that we were looking at. This is strictly a draft, along with the information on the audit points that the registrar was actually citing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up to the floor. What I ask is that everybody stay muted and maybe raise your hand so we can do this as orderly as possible. We do have some time restraints here, so I'd like to be done within an hour if possible. So I'm going to ask you to keep your comments short. and to the point.
Point of information,
I'm sorry?
a point of information, please.
Yes,
Are you referring to the letter at the back of the packet dated May 21st?
that's the letter that was
That's the
sent
letter
out by
that
the
we're going to
registrar.
be dealing with?
That's the letter, you're talking about the letter that was sent out by the registrar.
Well, it's at the back of the packet,
Yes.
Eric.
Yeah. It is Paul.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way I read it. Yeah.
So I'll open it up to the floor. I don't know who wants to speak first. Gus, do you want to take your first shot at this? Or
Yeah.
Rick? I mean, either of the,
Yeah, I'm happy to give you my first impression. It may run counter to some people's views, I think. Uh, I have a couple of bottom line thoughts. Let me just give those, and then when we get more detail, if there's more to say, I'll say it. The letter from the registrar, as written, basically directed criticisms primarily at the commissioners, and secondarily at John Cronin in his role. Uh, it it did not direct the criticisms, at least explicitly, at the advisory board. Um, as I look at it, for the advisory board, I'll put it this way: this is a political bar fight between elected officials, three commissioners and one registrar. And I learned a long time ago that in bar fights that are being started by other people, the last thing you want to do is be the first one to jump in. It doesn't make sense to me that the advisory board is the first one to respond to this. I certainly would be, quite open to the idea of the advisory board supplementing anything that the commissioners themselves would like to say or do in response to the registrar's communications. But I think for the advisory board to get out in front of the register, in particular out in front of the registrar more than in front of John, it conveys an impression, or it weakens the commissioners, because for some reason, instead of the commissioners being allowed to speak for themselves and to take this direct charge on as commissioners, for some reason, the advisory board decided we needed to do it. And I think that's a tactical mistake. I'll leave that at that.
okay. Next, Mr. Reardon, do you want to chime in?
Stand by.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chair. This has been an ongoing problem. It originated in 2020, I believe, was the first time that this came up. And we are actually the respondent to a current lawsuit. And I feel that we've done a great job of holding the line, but I don't think that we have pushed back hard enough. To be perfectly honest, if the register was an appointed official and not an elected official and was held to the same standards as any employee of Norfolk County, he would have been fired by now. He has violated Massachusetts general laws a couple of times in particular. Others he has flaunted. It really is a situation where an individual has taken upon himself to interpret the law and interpret his role in a way that is inconsistent with the financial practices of the county. This was addressed back in 2020 when the advisory board almost unanimously, I believe there was one abstention, went back to the Massachusetts general law and interpreted the statute regarding the deeds excise as it should have been interpreted. And since then, things have continued to escalate, and there have been multiple issues across multiple years. And for me, I think it is time that the advisory board, because we have been the subject of all sorts of information and innuendo. If you look at the letters that have been sent to us, it really is a lot. And we need to go back to our communities and show them that we are doing our job. We are creating efficiencies in county government. We are ensuring that the laws are maintained, ensuring that our communities get the services they need, which is ancillary to this. But it's really important for us to be able to address this directly now, because it's gone on for far too long. And when it escalates to a political campaign, and I don't disagree, Gus, in a certain sense, but he does address in the last paragraph appointed officials, and we are appointed officials in Norfolk County. And I believe we should stand up for the hard work we've put in over the past few years in particular, but even before that. And I also think that we should do so in a way that champions county government. County government does a great deal for particularly the smaller communities in Norfolk County. Just this past week, I was in Milton for Memorial Day, and the town administrator and I was speaking about efficiencies that the county can help with. So I think it's important that we get it out there that county government is alive and very well, if you look at the financials, and that one individual who happens to be elected is doing something that is, in my opinion, something that has a lot of issues within it, and it has cost the county a lot of money. And we have, to a certain extent, kept calm, kept moving forward. But at some point, this has to be stopped. And I don't know how others feel about this, but I, for one, feel that addressing it head on is the best way to proceed at this point after so many years of trying to do it in a way that was a little more subtle. So that is where I stand as a representative to the advisory board, and I'm open to hear other people's opinions.
Thank you, Joe. Phil, I just wanted to mention that I saw that Mr. Padula from Franklin has signed on. So he's on this meeting as well. Um,
Joe Rin and
next.
Talking to Bill.
Eric.
Yes, Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, Gus, I appreciate your comments and Joe as well. When I first read this in the local Quincy Sun on Thursday, May 28th, I kind of stood up on my chair and I said, whoa, boy, this is getting really kind of crazy. And I think there's enough, Joe, to your point, there's enough comments about financial issues here and audit findings that certainly, in my view, in my city, in fact, I reached out to the mayor of the city of Quincy today. I wasn't able to speak with him directly, but my second thought was if someone reads this and doesn't have background other than what's stated in here, I can see a city town administrator, a city mayor, or someone that has appointed us as a member of an advisory board to kind of question some of these things and really, kind of raise an arrow as to, is this advisory board not really paying attention to things? There's some of these things that are being said factual, and if they are they addressing them? And I think that's why I felt it was necessary not to attack in any way, shape, or form, not to get in a fight, Gus, but to kind of make sort of a communication to, again, those that appointed us that really can maybe make them have some better feel about what's going on. And that's kind of what the position I took when we just, when Eric, kind of talked about addressing this, I mean, there was a part of me that, again, my hair kind of stood up and said, okay, this is crazy. Enough is enough. But I think the letter is written in a way, I think it should be addressed to each city or town's appointing authority for whoever's on the advisory board. Maybe it doesn't have to be something that they want to choose to share for whatever reason personal to them. But I just think it's something that at this stage in the game, in true transparency of government and appointed people, that we respond.
Thank you, Rick. Okay. Who wants to take the next platform? Liz?
Yeah, I had a couple questions. Part of the reason we've never responded to the registrar's accusations and rhetoric prior to this is because our legal counsel did not think we should. So I wanted to be sure that Scott thought that, and there is the court case. I mean, the real decisive resolution here will be the resolution in the courts. And once that is solved and the court rules on the law around the interpretation of the statute. So I guess one of my questions is to make sure that our timing of a letter doesn't works with Scott's timing of the case. And to make sure that Scott thinks that there's nothing here that we're saying that in any way complicates the case. So that would be my one thought I had, just a question, really.
We did have Scott look at this letter. Am I correct, Director?
That's correct.
And he did not find anything that was inflammatory or that would hurt our case. I want to just build real quick on one of the points that Rick made. You know, believe me, I'm the first one that every time I get one of those letters, I actually do read it. And my first reaction is to get on my keyboard and pound out something to him, which I've been restrained for a long time on this. But I think when all this changed is the day that we all received subpoenas individually at our homes by the registrar. That to me went a little far. And that just kind of, like Rick said, raises the hairs in the back of your neck. You just want to do something to defend ourselves. And maybe, the point is that we don't send it out to the media outlets. We send it out to the appointing authorities and let them know that we're serving our communities properly. Does that answer your question, Liz?
That helps a lot. I do agree that it really should go to our appointing authorities to inform them that this was sent to the media outlets by the register, and we feel that it's important for them to have the facts.
Yeah.
And I think that is the appropriate response, not to start trying to litigate things in the media. I don't think that's going to help anybody, actually.
No, I
And the
agree.
timing, Scott didn't, I guess my question is, I just want to make sure Scott didn't think there was an issue with the timing, because I know he's really thick in the case right now. So I just don't know. I just wanted to make sure that the timing was okay. Also, from a legal perspective, he didn't comment about that. John,
No,
it sounds like he didn't feel there's any worry about that.
no, there
That's
were no
correct.
there were no negatives from Scott's office about this.
Okay, yeah. Then I think we've held back a lot. I think actually we've exercised a lot of restraint. And I think it's probably time for us to at least let our appointing authorities know that what the register is sending out is just hogwash. Yeah.
Eric,
Yes.
Helen wants to speak. She's over
Helen,
the
go ahead. I'm sorry, Helen.
Thank you. First of all, some of the comments that Dr. Childs raised are important. And having been an attorney since 1977, what I've learned is that this issue is based on facts, and facts are determined in a rational court of law. We are still America. We still have the right to send out a letter. We still have freedom of speech. And I think that we are being used, this Norfolk County Advisory Board is being used to get involved in this issue. This is an issue that should be determined by the parties in a court of law.
So, Helen, am I correct in saying that you are not in favor of sending out any kind of a communication at this time?
Yes, you're correct in saying that.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, Joe McCrisky.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah, I want to agree with a couple of the previous speakers, Eric. I'm an elected official. My colleagues have voted me to serve on the advisory board, have never asked me about this, nor has anybody ever asked me about any of this other than people connected to it. I would support doing something following, as it was the comment made earlier, following any action of the commissioners. And if we wanted to do something after that, where we put out a comment that we would do to the appointing authorities, I don't know how many people in my town, this is not even being talked about. Nobody's ever mentioned this to me. And I've been around a long time. If somebody got a question, they're going to ask me. So I don't know how it's affecting other communities. To me, it's sort of a let the sleeping dog lie. I mean, unless there's a reason for us to do this, let's let the commissioners lead it, because it is more of the involvement with them. There's some things going on here that I think could backlash on other people that have initiated a lot of these things. Just in the professionalism that I've experienced, and how it's handled. But I just don't know if it's right for us as the advisory board to get involved at this time. I would follow the lead of the commissioners and the director if there's a reason for us to do that. I don't know anybody else. Has anybody in your communities ever asked you what's going on with this issue? So I can't see putting that information out where it would be confusing for our residents of our individual communities. If we put that out there, we may be opening up something we don't want to open up. It's just my 2 cents.
And that bolsters Gus's comments from earlier.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Padula, I know you are on. I believe you wanted to make a statement as well. You're muted. There you are.
How's that? So
there you go. Hi, Peter.
Hi, and I've been listening to getting the publications from Mr. O'Donnell for a number of years, and my opinion has always been, I wish we started responding to these back a while ago, whether it was the commissioners or whether it was us as a group. I think it should have been responded to. I've gotten a number of calls over the years. When Bill puts out a letter, I get a phone call. That person, one of the persons recently retired, but I get regular calls from different people about these letters that come out from Bill. So people do pay attention to them. And I think there's a real harm in letting people make all these comments, which are, I think that they're largely inaccurate in some cases, and they have some facts kind of put in. But like any good lawyer, when these things are written, it's confusing, but it's not a real clear picture of what's going on. So I think this correspondence needs to go out, whether it goes out initially from the commissioners to our local boards, because I think that at some point I'm going to be speaking to all my people on our town council to let them know what my feeling is of what's going on. So I think it needs to go out. Is there a problem why it can't go out from the commissioners to our local board of selectmen and town councils? Is there any problem with that?
That's a good question, Peter. I don't know that we've actually explored that, and that might be the maybe that's the action we take, is to go to the commissioners and ask them to issue the statement. And then again, to Gus's point, we could add an addendum to that, or even a couple of paragraphs to it. I don't know if that might make more sense. John, do you have any insight about that?
Can I finish my piece if I could just?
Oh, I'm sorry, Peter.
Oh, that's okay, because I'm an appointed official, right? So this letter speaks to me as well. So when elected and appointed officials, so the commissioners are elected. So guess who's appointed? You're appointed, I'm appointed, and everyone else on this board is appointed officials. So that letter is pointed squarely at us as well. So I don't have a problem with it. At some point, it's going to come out. Maybe it comes out from the commissioners. Maybe it's joint. I would like that any place that this letter comes out should also have its rebuttal, should see the same piece. But make no mistake, the last paragraph, everyone sitting on this meeting now that's on the Norfolk County Advisory Board on county expenditures, we probably should clean that up in our letter here, is appointed. And this speaks to you as well. So yeah, you're all in the crosshairs too on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Eric,
Yes.
it's Mike Bellotti.
Hi, Mike.
Can I offer anything right now? Or is this just advisory board kicking this around?
No, I don't have a problem with you offering some advice,
No, I'll
Mike.
just be quick. You know, my experience in my other positions, you're always torn how to react to these things, and you tend to just not react because you elevate it, especially when you think that somebody is you're not getting your side out there. And then there were times when I didn't react, whether I was being sued. I was probably the most sued person in Norfolk County, you know, at the jail, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And we manage that very conservatively, like how we handle things. But there were times when I thought, you know, I have to get something on the record because this is the third time. And a good lawyer will always tell his client, because we always had either an in-house lawyer or somebody with a specialty around a particular lawsuit, for your best chance of not undermining your case with a judge, you can't say anything. But unfortunately, at this point, this is a public relations problem with stakeholders. Even though most of our neighbors and no one I know talks to me about this stuff, nobody, even insiders in Quincy politics, they never talk specifically about any of this type of information coming from Billy. But it's getting to the point now where even if it's a letter from the commissioners and somehow you folks can support it, if that's what you think is the right thing, even if it just goes to the town administrators and mayors, at least somebody's heard something and something's on the record. Because a lot of this can be explained just with we're in litigation right now over these particular issues, which is not a great look, I don't think, for the register. If because anyone in our business knows, okay, if there's litigation going on, then even if the register is right, what he's doing might be beyond what most people consider in elected positions or appointed, beyond a fair approach, because it's all going to be answered in court, at least most of it. And I also, I think that's all I have. I think at some point something has to be in writing on the record. It doesn't have to be inflammatory. It doesn't have to be hyperbole, and it can be most explained away about how the litigation has been going on for a few years, and these issues will be wrapped up at some point. So that's what I got to say.
Okay, Mike, thank you. And I think to Joe's point, I believe Joe made this point earlier, where a lot of people are not aware of county government and how it runs. When you put something like this out, when the register puts something like this out there with no rebuttal, then as far as I'm concerned, we're leaving it up to the code of public opinion to assume that everything he's saying is correct. That's part of the reason why I wanted to have this meeting.
And Eric, one more thing. Because of what's going on with the sheriffs right now, there's a real misnomer about what county government is. If you read the comments on the IG's report in the Globe and other places, people say, geez, why do we have county government? Well, the sheriffs aren't even technically part of county government. They're there because of jurisdictional reasons and statutory reasons. So people kind of conflate county government whenever it comes to DAs and sheriffs, and obviously commissioners are county government. I'm county government. Billy's elected to a county position. So as we could get swept into a lot of discussions that don't affect us because of what's happening with the sheriffs. And you might even have some legislators that don't fully get it, because different counties exist and some counties don't exist for the most part. And they might just start thinking about this thing as one big ball of wax. And then they see this, and if there's any other type of, I'm not saying the Globe will pick up on it, but you just never know. You at least want to make sure that you've answered this. That's the last thing I'll say.
All right, Mike, thank you. All right, members from the board, any further comments?
Paul Dumas.
Oh, yeah,
Paul
I'm
Dumas
sorry.
thoughts.
Paul, go ahead.
First of all, I want to apologize that I'm really kind of in the dark. I might be the only one on the AdCom that doesn't know the history of recent years with stuff like that. Um, those on the AdCom who don't know me from when I served before, I had a 40-year postal management career, all kinds of stuff like arbitrations, being sued. I sued, mediations, things like that. I was on the Foxborough School Committee, similar. I for one would would not support that we send a letter from our board unless it was properly vetted by our lawyer. We're entitled to a lawyer, just like the commissioners, to protect the county. And so if we have a person or two that's a good literary person, we need to get legal before we send anything, because whatever you send could wind up in court. It will. If he goes forward, it's going to wind up in court. So you want to get counsel. Of course, this extends one of the complaints about the legal costs that have been spent to date. So now, I found in my postal career a process called mediation squared away. Wasn't always successful, but frequently enough on some stark conflict with people that really didn't care for each other. And so I'm wondering, has there been any talk about the commissioners and the registrar, being in mediation? And of course, there's three of him and one of the registrars, so maybe he might want to bring his number two. I don't know, but I think before we get into a bunch of legal stuff and and getting a team together to get a group response, that might be something to look at. Has it ever been entertained before?
No.
That's the voice of reason. That's very reasonable. If you look at number one, that's court material right there on their letter, the proposed letter. Number one, that's going to be in court. That's a great idea.
The
Mr. Chairman,
there's a federal mediation service that they worked in the federal government, the postal service. I know they were involved in a Stop and Shop strike. They can go into any venue, and it's a low key thing, and there's no harm, no foul, because if the parties agree to go to mediation, everything that's said there is confidential, and when it's over, if there's no agreement, and none of it can be used. So I think it's worth further thinking about, and maybe see if the parties involved could do that. If you bear with me, I think I made a couple of notes if I can read my writing. The audits. How many audits have been? Were you doing annual audits? And what do they show in terms of deficiencies and stuff? Is any of that stuff in the audit included in this letter? I don't know. Does the AdCom get the audits, or just the commissioners get it?
They're public.
Yeah, the audit's a public record.
And they're on the
Well,
website.
so the last fiscal year ended in June of 25. Has that audit been completed?
That's happening right now, which it typically does right about now.
Okay, so
We're meeting with the auditors, so we're
did
kind
I
of on time
hear
for that one.
did I hear that this goes back to 2020?
Yes.
What about the other audits? Was there any notoriety on any of them?
Mr. Chairman, when you get a
So,
minute, I'd like
Yeah.
to respond.
John,
No.
Go ahead, John.
Thank you. To the gentleman's questions, first, yes, mediation has occurred between the county commissioners and Registrar O'Donnell. Mediation was undertaken by a retired Supreme Judicial Court member, Judge Chernoff, and the Register, his attorney, and the county's attorney in 2023. The outcome was not successful. There was no agreement. Regarding your question on audits, all our audits are public, as the treasurer just indicated. They're on our website, sir. Every audit has some degree of dust on it that requires tighter controls, and we are not exempt from that. The information that the register put in his letter corresponded to 2 different audits, sir. We gave in your packet excerpts from the audits that describe the context of the remarks that were made in the register's message. I hope that's responsive to your questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I guess a follow-up, Mr. Cronin, is if the mediation was in 2023, that's 3 years ago, is it worth another shot?
Definitely.
I mean,
Well, I
Yeah.
guess that's a question for that. That would be a question
Yeah.
for the commissioners,
yeah.
because obviously
were they
we wouldn't be
invited to
involved
this
in the
meeting?
mediation.
Ask Eric.
Sorry?
Eric, were the commissioners invited to this meeting?
Were they invited to this meeting? No. I mean, it's a posted meeting. They're always more than welcome. They're usually at our meetings anyway, but they weren't specifically invited to this. No, sir. Okay. I know we have a couple other people that want to speak, and I know Karen from Needham. I know you're on a time constraint. Do you have anything specific that you would like to speak of?
I would be in favor of, I would not be in favor of sending something to all media outlets. We don't know who printed it, and it would cause people to wonder what the initial letter said from the register. I would be okay with sending something to the appointing authorities.
Okay, thank you. I know Gus has had his hands up, and I believe a few other people have also. Mr. Kirby, is there a?
I think Mr. Calcutt's hand is up.
Mr. Calcutt.
You combine Calcutt and Murby there for one person, so that was
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sorry.
difficult to navigate. So, when I was appointed to this body the first time in 2020, I was serving as a member of the Norfolk Select Board. And to be honest with you, I did not know much about what went on in the context of this body, even though I was appointing somebody to serve on it every year. I believe that there is an inherent value to reporting back to our appointing authorities as to what we're doing, how it's being done. And maybe they do nothing with that information, but they know that there is work being done on their behalf. And if something does come up where they're questioned by the public, they're able to identify why they're making the decisions they make to send us back here every year. From my position, I've noodled on this for a while last night. And from my position, we're like an independent financial oversight body for Norfolk County. And,
That's exactly what our charter is.
Yeah. And so from that perspective, I feel like our responsibility is to the county expenditures, not so much to the political back and forth that is obviously going on right now between the county commissioners and the register. I know that in his recent letter, he did reference us in a secondary capacity there at the end as the appointed officials that are apparently contributing to the wasteful spending going on. And I'll leave my own personal feelings about some of his claims and what's transpired since 2020 when I joined. But I think in the context of our scope and what we're responsible for, our duty is to address what was said back to our appointing authority and let the county commissioners respond publicly to whatever the registrar has put out there publicly. I think that's serving our best interests. I think that's serving the best interest of the public. And I think that's serving the best interest of those that depend on us to be able to make these decisions on their behalf. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I know, Gus, you have a question. Dr. Childs, did you also have a question?
No, actually, John Cronin responded. I was going to respond to Paul about we've done mediation and and the audits are public. So John already said that. So that's all we
Okay.
need.
All right, thank you. Mr. Polito, Gus, where you've already spoken once, I'm going to give Tom Polito a chance to chime in. So, Mr. Polito, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I believe with mostly with Gus. I don't know how many papers printed that article from the registrar, but I haven't heard in my area. Nobody talks about it. But my board of selectmen, town manager, know what's going on because I frequently talk to them. But some of the statements in the you think the letter's correct. I think a lot of it is incorrect letter. I mean, waste of money. First of all, when we're talking about the lawsuits, okay? People think if you read it, the registrar is appealing the case. It should be more clear. The commissioners appealing the case. They're the cost of taxpayers' money. The commissioners are. You lost the case to the registered deed in two cases, one Supreme Court. Okay, so I'm saying so. If you're gonna say it's costing county money, make sure you put down the commissioners are appealing the case, not the county, not the registered deeds person. So that's one thing that should be cleared up anyway. And some of the responses I couldn't disagree with more. It's you're losing cases, you're losing cases. It's a guy from Norwood losing to a winning from a big law firm in Boston. Okay, so maybe we should look at that issue also. But I just think we're backing up the money. You want to send a letter to the boards in the town managers? I have no problem with that because I'll go in front of my board and put what I think of the facts side. But these facts, this letter, in my opinion, are not true. Some are true, absolutely, but I think you're really skirting the real truth behind these answers. We waste money. I mean, as Dr. Chadwell said, we're the steward of the funds. Well, all the money is spent on lawyer bills. I don't think we're being good stewards of the funds right there at all. We're wasting taxpayers' money. It's all the. I think this thing was filed over those two women of 30, almost 30 years in the job, but he didn't dot every I and cross every T to keep Cronin happy. Okay, so that's where it started. I think. I mean, the money's the other issue. The splitting money. I'm not much involved in that, but I think at the last meeting, he asked for certain thing to be done, and the money he said he's gonna put $50,000 more to bring these people in, depose them, and everything else. We're wasting more money. At the end, when I was at that court that day, the judge, if you don't do it, I'll do it. And just how she talked, she's not for the county. She'll overrule the county and get these two appointed.
Okay, well, point taken, Mr. Polito.
So,
all right, Gus, you're muted, Gus.
Yes, I am. I clicked it twice, I guess. I have just a couple of brief comments, and I just wanted to clarify from the comments that you allowed me to start off with. Just to make clear, there's nothing in my points that I made earlier that said I don't think a rebuttal to this public statement should be, I think that needs to be made. The point I was making there is that I thought the commissioners are the ones who actually have the lead responsibility to make that rebuttal in whatever ways they see appropriate. And that if we got out in front of the commissioners on that public rebuttal, I think that's an action that actually weakens the commissioners because for some reason the Norfolk County Advisory Board felt it needed to get out in front and do something, presumably because it didn't think the commissioners would. In that context, if there's a role that the advisory board can play by either supporting that statement and adding things or refining some of the points and co-signing it if the commissioners want us to do it, I think that's fine. Or if the commissioners could benefit from a supplemental statement from the advisory board that was really focused on particularly the charges around financial management, I think that's appropriate. In this discussion, though, one of the things that's come out is that this might be a letter that goes to the appointing authorities that we each have. If that changes the context of my view on this, if in fact this is a letter to go to the appointing authorities that put us on this advisory board in the first place, then this is a letter that's intended to assure the appointing authorities that what we're doing on the advisory board is what we should be doing. If that's what the letter's for, then I would support the idea of putting that letter forward if that's the intended target. But I still think out there's a public relations challenge that the county and in particular the commissioners face that I'm just saying I don't think we want to get out in front of. Thanks.
Thank you, Gus.
Can I say one thing?
For anybody that has not spoken yet,
Oh,
is
sorry.
there anybody that wants to address that has not spoken yet? Charlie, you've been uncharacteristically quiet.
Eric,
I'm just listening. I kind of, agree that maybe this might be a better letter coming from maybe staff. I don't know if John Cronin should send this letter out. I mean, it's, talking about the county finances and how the county finances are being wasted, and maybe coming from the full-time person. It might be better coming from him. And if it went to, the boards of selectmen, or, if in Braintree, if it went to Mayor Joyce, just replied it to the folks that we think the letter went out to. I wouldn't send it to the, any media, but it's kind of, I think the people that brought that point up make a good point. On the, maybe John sending it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Helen?
Eric, Paul Duma, I got a
Well,
question.
wait a minute, Paul. Helen had her
Okay.
hand up behind you. Go ahead, Helen.
Thank you. Question, please. What was the date of the last mediation?
John?
The information I have was around May of 2023, Helen.
What?
May of 23.
Thank you, I heard it. Thank you.
Okay.
What is the date of the two court cases that Bill O'Donnell has won? What dates do those decisions come down?
I'm going to have to retreat and get that information and circle back to you, Helen. It's buried in a box behind me.
Thank you. That's very, very, very important. The fellow from Foxborough brought up an important part about the mediation. In this proposed letter, there are things that may be right and may be wrong. So I have an idea that I'd like to make a motion that we tell the parties, the commissioners and the register of deeds, that we tell them that what we want is for them to go back one more time for a large mediation firm and mediate, and then after that, see what the result of that mediation is. And then at that point, that might be a good point to send a letter to the selectmen or the mayors, whoever appointed us. That might be. But
Helen, I guess.
Excuse me, I haven't finished.
I apologize.
That shouldn't be opposition to alleged facts that may or may not be right. I don't want to be any part of making allegations that may or may not be correct.
Did you make a motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
What is, well, let me ask you this question before. So you're making a motion that we advise the commissioners to go back to mediation.
Right.
And
I don't know that we have the authority to do that.
All the parties.
I don't know that we have the authority to do. We can make a request to them, Helen, but I don't think we have the authority to demand that.
No, I didn't say demand. I didn't say demand, sir. What I said was I suggest that we invite them to go back one more time. And in the event that they don't then at that time, that we send a letter to the selectmen or mayors, but not with all kinds of facts in it that can be right or wrong. Because I don't want to set anybody up in court for lousy facts. And I have a second on my motion.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second to send a letter, I guess, or to notify the commissioners and the Register of Deeds that the advisory board would like them to go back into mediation.
Right.
So we have a go ahead, Dr. Childs.
Are you opening up for discussion?
I am opening up for discussion.
I just would like to remind the advisory board that it actually was our recommendation that we go into mediation. We initiated that through our attorney, and our attorney was very determined to try to solve this without a court case and to do the mediation, and actually brought in a very skilled former SJC justice to do it, and was quite disappointed when it failed. And that was that there were many months of efforts to really make that work. And it was not a small effort. It took a lot of time, commitment, legal cost, and I would say that we were the ones who really wanted to do that. I thought that was really important background for people to have.
In response, sir,
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you,
Thank
you, Dr. Childs.
That's the past, and
Yes,
that
go
may
ahead.
be the case, but that was before we had additional information. Since that time, we have 2 years at least, or 2.5 years of additional new information, conduct, and facts. We have a new case based from old mediation. And I'm not saying the mediator wasn't good. No, I never said that. I'm just saying we have a different additional facts.
Thank you, Helen.
Discussion.
Mr. Chairman?
Peter?
Please, thank you. I couldn't disagree more. I think the fact that the mediation was dealt with by people who really know what they're doing, it didn't work. It's an absolute total waste of time, as evidenced by the fact that there's been litigation since then. So I couldn't have disagreed more, and I will absolutely, if the motion passed, it goes to the floor, I will absolutely not support it. And as far as not holding back on making a response to this thing, the time for the response is now, not 6 months or a year from now. I want to tell you, things keep being said that are incorrect, and everybody knows it. And I read through the letter twice. I don't see any inaccuracies. I have a hard time thinking that Mr. Cronin is going to put something out there that we all have, and even queries about where the audits are. It's in the letter. You read it, it says, here's the audits. So go look at them. So I will certainly, if it gets any further, I will certainly vote against it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Peter. All right, so we have a motion.
Eric,
and a
I have a
second.
question.
Yes, Paul.
Not related to the motion, though. Go ahead.
I got a question, just a fast
Hold
question,
on,
Mr.
Paul.
Chairman.
Hold on, Tom. Hold on. Paul has the floor.
It's not, my question isn't related to the motion. Gonna deal with the
Okay,
motion.
so we'll move on. Tom,
Yeah,
is there
just
a question related to the motion?
Yes. When the lady from Norwood asked the question about mediate, what would you be mediating? The court cases we lost, or what's going to be mediated? That's the issue I have. It's in courts being appealed. Are you going to mediate that or something different? I just want to know what you're going to mediate. That's all I'm trying to say. That's the question. Can somebody explain that to me?
Can I try to answer that, Eric?
Well,
From
I
my
think the
general
question.
experience in life, the parties
Paul, hold on
that
for a
aren't
second.
getting along,
Hold on for a
put
second.
it all
please.
out there
Paul.
and hopefully finish.
Paul, I believe that question was directed towards Helen.
Sorry?
Because she made the question.
I agree with the representative from Foxborough, and I think that it's not a fact that they've had a mediation before. What we have is we want to settle the case now. This has gone far enough. We want to settle it, and we want to settle it in a way that we can go back to being one of the best counties in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I've been around here now, and when we started out, we were friendly and kind to each other, and everyone got along. We used to have this, we used to have that. We used to represent every dime on the budget was considered, and it's time now for us to patch things up and to come to an agreement and to work things out.
Thank you, Helen.
Mr. Chairman, again?
No, Dr. Childs.
May I
Okay.
call the question, please, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, all right. So we are going to go to a vote on Helen's motion
Well,
to
somebody called the question.
to send, I'm sorry,
It's been seconded.
it's been seconded already.
But to call the question. So that means you need a
It's the vote.
It's a
on the
vote.
call the question.
And Liz did. Liz called the question.
Okay, so we need to vote on that first.
So
We have to vote on calling the question.
so we're voting on calling the question first.
Yes.
Phil,
Thank you.
you let us know when you're ready.
Sure. Give me a second. I need to rename something. So what are we calling this? Calling the question.
Moving the question.
Moving the question. I learn a new thing every time I do this stuff for you. Moving the question.
It's calling,
Moving or calling?
calling.
Just vote on the fucking thing, you idiots.
Whoa.
Oh, that's
Excuse me, who
nice.
was that?
With the
That's
swearing.
nice. Real appropriate.
Uncalled for.
Who's that? Oh, it's what kind of? Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Gus, you ready to do this? So this is to call the question and to go to a vote on Helen's amendment or on Helen's motion.
Motion.
Okay. Avon,
No.
Bellingham.
No.
Again, to be clear, this is on calling the question, not voting on Helen's motion, right? So
Right.
you don't want to call the question, you want to keep talking about it. Okay. Braintree,
Aye.
Brookline,
Aye.
Canton,
Yes.
Dedham,
No.
Foxborough,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Medfield, yes. Milton. Joe?
Sorry, Gus. Yes.
Okay. Needham,
Yes.
Norfolk,
Yes.
Norwood,
Yes.
Quincy. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm skipping over anybody. I'm doing this the wrong way. Sorry, you guys. I'll fix that from here forward. If I skipped over you and you're farther in front of the alphabet than Q, tell me. Randolph,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Stoughton,
Yes.
Walpole,
Yes.
Wellesley, Westwood, Weymouth, Rentham. My apologies on screwing the first part of it up.
Okay, I have 67.57 yes and 5.84 no.
Okay, so we move the question and we will go to a vote on Helen's recommendation to send a letter to both the register and the county commissioners explaining that the advisory board would like them to go back into mediation for another round.
Okay, I'm ready.
Do we have we have a motion and we have a second on that?
Yeah.
All right, so you're ready? So Gus,
Yes.
you're ready to go?
Yep. Thank you. Avon,
No.
Bellingham,
No.
Braintree,
No.
Brookline,
No.
Canton,
No.
Cohasset, Dedham,
No.
Dover, Foxborough,
Yes.
Franklin,
No.
Holbrook, Medfield, no. Medway, Millis, Milton,
No.
Needham,
No.
Norfolk,
No.
Norwood,
Yes.
Plainville, Quincy,
No.
Randolph,
No.
Sharon,
Oh.
Stoughton,
No.
Walpole,
No.
Wellesley, Westwood, Weymouth, Rentham.
I have 5.61 yes and 67.80 for no.
Okay, so that motion fails. So I will entertain a motion to approve a communication to each community's appointing authority reporting back and responding to the assertions made in the register's letter of 5/21/26. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We had a motion and a second. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Padula.
so who is going to be sending the letter? Who is the authority is it going to be coming from the commissioners or is it going to be coming from the advisory board?
I think, I mean, I believe that what it sounds like this board wants is a joint communication. So, if this passes, then I will, direct the commissioner, I'm sorry, the county director to work with the commissioners to draft something up that we can also add into. Does that sound reasonable?
If it's going to be coming from both, I have no problem with it coming from both of us, but I wonder, because there's been some comments about the fact that people don't read the letters or don't get commented. I think they should have the letter that was presented along with our response, so there's no confusion. I think
You're talking about, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I follow you. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Gus, you
Wish,
have an additional
please, on
question?
the motion, point of interest.
Wait a minute. I got Gus, you have the floor.
Yeah, Eric, I just want to be real clear on what this motion is. You had said that this is a letter that will go to the appointing authorities. If I followed the discussion that we had, if the commissioners want to add their signature to that letter, or even if they wanted to draft that letter, and we do, we put our signature, or we have you maybe sign on behalf of the advisory board, that's fine. But that's a separate issue from the commissioners' decision of how they might want to publicly respond to the communications that have come from O'Donnell. The point around us jointly working on that would be in that public response going out to the public on behalf of the commissioners. We would be willing. These are my thoughts, and part of what I thought was in the conversation. We might either join to help the commissioners get that letter to be as good as possible and then sign on for it, or we could issue a separate supplemental message that supports key points that are relevant to the advisory board. What I'm getting at is I don't think we ever talked about if it's a letter going to the appointing authority that it needed to have or should have the commissioners sign on to it as well. That might be a good idea, but I think we mixed two scenarios there.
Braintree, can I make a comment?
Go ahead,
please?
Charlie.
Yeah, I like I said earlier, if the letter went out from John Cronin and like on behalf of the commissioners and the advisory board, just wanted to, answer some of the points that were brought up with the register's letter, I think it's best to come from the from John Cronin. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul.
I think it should be a joint letter signed off by both boards. It should be signed off by the commissioners with John Cronin, and it should be signed off by the advisory board. But we should review the letter beforehand. So, for example, this document we got tonight, a lot of people did not receive until the last minute, and we didn't see what some of the remarks were in there. Speaking for myself. So I think it should be a joint letter if we're doing it, and I support sending a joint letter signed by the commissioners and John Cronin and signed off by the advisory board, you as our representative. But we all should have a view of it before it goes out.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Is that what you are, Gus? Is that?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Page? Are you on the same? Is Gus on the same page?
Gus, you're on the same page as that?
My follow-up question be, with that joint letter, who did you think it should be sent to?
It would be sent to I believe where our intention is to send it to the appointing authorities, not out to the general public.
I don't think we should respond to the press.
No. You think we should respond to the press?
We should not respond to the press.
Should not. Okay. All right. So you're okay with that, Gus? Helen?
Question, please. First of all, Mr. Randolph made a good point about not reading the letter before it gets sent out. That's a very good point. And the other good point is how can we everything in it is going to be, once we sign it, it's going to be interpreted to be our opinions. How
It's
does
a letter
that work?
supporting everything we do as a advisory board. We vote on those budgets.
Right.
We vote on those items. And
I
he's
still
just managing government.
I still support the current letter. I'm sorry. I do agree with all of the comments that have been made. However, I think sending it out to the appointing authorities, and I agree with the current letter. So I just want to put that on the record.
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes.
When the motion was made to send this letter just recently by you and I seconded it, it was framed in a manner that reflected the draft that was sent to us as written with you as the signatory.
Correct.
There wasn't any discussion about adding in the commissioners or anything like that. From my perspective, I believe that the original intent to have this letter be coming from the advisory board to the appointing authorities is the most appropriate path. And if we do decide to do something additional in the future, where we jointly respond with the commissioners more publicly or whatever that avenue is, we can discuss that at a later time. But I think that for the purpose of this meeting and for the purpose of what was proposed and drafted and that was moved, I would support this letter coming from the advisory board and going to the appointing authorities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Polito.
yeah, I agree with the letter going out to the boards, not the newspaper. But I mean, it should be we vote on recommendations from the commissioners, so they should be a part of the letter because we're voting on their recommendations. They initiate all the lawsuits, not us. So I'm saying so. It should be from them also, not just us, because they're the ones that initiated. The majority of the board accepted their recommendations. So really, it's their issue more than us. We just accepted it. But I don't agree with everything in the letter. I wouldn't sign this letter. My name should. I don't want it on it because I don't agree with some responses you did. I think that the facts aren't all true. Thank you.
Okay, Jim from Walpole.
Mr. Chair, can I say something? Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I'm pretty quiet in this stuff because I don't.
Jim, you're breaking up. We can't really hear you.
Really productive. I don't think.
Jim, I'm sorry, we can't understand what you're saying. You're breaking up completely.
With us, with the county, is
I had to come in person.
All right, Jim, I'm sorry, but we couldn't hear what you said. I'm going to move on to to Dr. Childs.
I just want to make sure that people understand, Mr. Polito, we are actually being sued. We are defendants. And that is not, it is not only the commissioners who are being sued by the register.
I know that. I know that.
Good.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to send out the letter that has been proposed, signed by the chair to the appointing authorities. We have a motion and a second, so I'm going to call for a vote. So
Point of order.
Point of order.
Yeah, we're gonna get the letter beforehand in case any changes made before we sign off on it completely. That's someone wanted to see it again, but they didn't get to read it good. Should we get it again and reply back that we agree with it as proposed? But some people said they didn't really read it. So I just want to make sure what we're doing. That's all. I have read it.
We are voting on the letter that you were provided.
Yeah, some people just get it today. I'm just saying some didn't have a chance to read it, they said. So I just don't want to, they who didn't read it might want to make some changes to it. I don't know. That's just my comment. That's all.
Can I make one more comment, please?
Who is that, Charlie?
Charlie, I'm going to be voting against this because I think the letter should come from the commissioners, and the county director should be sending it out on behalf of the commissioners and the advisory board. So I'm going to be voting against this motion.
Okay, Charlie. Jim, do you want to try again?
Yeah, we'll try again. Sorry, I
just
pulled over. I'm going to be voting against this too. I just don't think it's productive to engage with this guy. He's been around a long time. He's been to these meetings. He's shown up to the county commissioners meetings. I'm not appreciative of the way he conducts himself. Just these letters aren't productive, but I just don't think we should engage with them. So that's my 2 cents, but thanks for all the efforts here.
Thank you, Jim. Helen?
Question, please. In the pamphlet that was sent out to us, the signature is sincerely yours, Eric Beckerman, Chair Advisory Board. I don't see the commissioners listed there.
They're not.
They're not.
So why are we talking about the commissioners? It's not listed here. Did anybody amend this letter to reflect that?
That's what we're going on now.
No, there's no specific amendment. The amendment is, the motion has been to send out this letter.
With the commissioners.
No.
No, it has not.
No,
No, the motion right now is to send out the letter as is.
I'm going to make an amendment to the main motion that the letter come from the county director, John Cronin, and be from the advisory board and the county commissioners. That's my motion. That's to amend the main
Second the amendment.
All right, so we got a motion and a second on an amendment to include, to have the letter signed off by the county director in support of both the commissioners and the advisory board.
Might be better off muting Brenda Sweeney too. So we don't keep hearing those remarks.
Okay, so Phil, are you ready for that, to vote on the amendment?
Give me 1 second, please.
Amendment to add the commissioners?
No, but commissioners.
The amendment is to provide this letter signed off by John Cronin and in support, have both the commissioners and the advisory board support.
The letter goes out from John Cronin on behalf of the county commissioners and the advisory board.
Correct. That's the amendment. All right. So Phil, when you're ready.
Yeah, give me a minute, please.
Point of clarification, if I could, please.
Yes.
Is it going to have the original letter that caused this letter to be produced? It was going to have Bill's letter as well, so they know what they're looking at, so it's all in one place.
It's a very good point.
I would assume yes.
Okay.
Because our letter actually does reference that letter, I would expect that would be sent as an addendum to the appointing authorities.
Thank you.
Liz?
I just wanted to ask a question of the county director, John Cronin, if he sees any issue with this going out under his signature.
County director?
Sorry, I just stepped out to the restroom. I apologize.
Sorry, John. Do you see any issue with the letter going out under your signature? Was supported by the advisory board and if the county commissioners
on behalf of the commissioners and advisory board.
Yeah.
I appreciate the question. This is not dodging a question, Dr. Childs, but I'm acutely aware who I work for.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
My signature will be included if it is so intended by the Norfolk County Commissioners.
So we would need so if we make the motion and it passes, the commissioners have to make the final decision.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. That clarifies that. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Gus?
Yeah, Eric, with apologies if I'm just making your life miserable, but I want to point out that this motion is doing two things. One of the things is changing the process in terms of who signs it, and that's fine as it stands. And Mr. Cronin has clarified his ability to commit to doing anything in the absence of the commissioners telling him to. The second thing, if I understood what you said correctly, is the letter that you sent out to everybody was identified as a draft letter. But I think in this vote, as it's being characterized at this point, people are not only voting on the process change on who signs it and who signs on behalf of, but it's also saying this draft letter is the final letter and we're accepting it. So I'm pointing out there can be two reasons why people wouldn't be on board with it. One of which is that this is a draft letter that we think still needs some work and people want to see the final letter before agreeing to actually sending it. And the second one is who actually signs it and how does it get routed. If that's the intent, that's great. It's just, I see that as a complicating factor at getting a motion passed here.
The spirit of my motion is that we see the letter before it goes out.
That was Charlie, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
So we're making a decision on the course of action we want to take, which is to finalize a letter, finalizing this draft letter to say what it is we would like it to say, working collaboratively, presumably with the director and at least either formally or informally with the commissioners to make sure everybody's okay with what it says before it actually goes out. That's our course of action, and that's a letter that's going to the appointing authorities.
okay, that is correct.
Okay.
So, I guess my question then is that I'm going to withdraw my motion because we're going to have to revise that. So the motion would be, I'm trying to think how we would do this. Procedurally, how would we do this?
So,
We reconvene
You
in a week?
withdrawing your main motion. I'll withdraw my amendment to the main motion. I'll make a motion that the letter be sent out by the county director on behalf of the advisory board and the county commissioners, and we see the letter before it goes out. So moved.
May I,
Second.
Charlie, can I add a friendly question, maybe change that as, if approved by the commissioners, because John can't sign anything unless the commissioners approve it.
Well,
Yeah.
let me just say something about that. If
Can
John
you add that somewhere?
doesn't want to sign a letter, then it's probably not the right thing to send out. So if John
Right.
Cronin wants to sign the letter, I have full faith in John Cronin. It's going to be the right thing to send out.
I
Okay?
agree, but John's very clear. The commissioners have to agree first.
Right.
Well, if the commissioners
he's
don't
signing
want to
it.
send out a letter responding to the register on what he sent out, then what business do we have sending something out if the commissioners don't want to send it out?
I'm
frankly.
with you there, Charlie. Thank you.
Agreed.
Yep.
All right. So Charlie's motion is to generate
Point
a
of order.
letter.
Point of order.
Yes, go ahead, Harold.
Thank you. I think that if our signature is going to be on it, that we should have the right to see the final letter before it goes out.
Charlie said that.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's what Charlie said. That's part of the motion.
So we'd have to have another vote to, even if we had to mail in a vote or proxy or what, we'd have to have another vote to say, okay, we approve of the letter as submitted.
I have to have another vote.
That is correct. So what's the course of action that we want to take? Do we want to table this for now and reconvene in a week after a letter has been generated? I'm not sure what the
We're already
intention of the whole
here.
board is.
We're
at this
already
point.
here. We made a motion. I have a motion on the floor. I'm not
And I second
withdrawing.
the motion, Charlie.
All right. So there's a motion and a second to generate a letter that is signed by the county director at the direction of the commissioners on behalf of the commissioners and the advisory board, and that the advisory board members are given an opportunity to review the letter and approve.
Correct.
Is that correct, Charlie?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to call a vote. So Phil, when you're ready.
Hey. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Avon,
Yes.
Bellingham,
No.
Braintree,
Aye.
Brookline,
Aye.
Canton,
Yes.
Cohasset, Dedham,
No.
Dover, Foxborough,
I'm opposed to the advisory being on this, so I vote no.
Franklin,
Yes.
Holbrook, Medfield, yes. Medway, Millis, Milton,
Yes.
Needham.
Needham left, I believe.
Norfolk,
No.
Norwood.
No, how will we approve it afterwards if it passes?
Well, it's subject to approval, so that's part of the motion.
Can't send it out. They have to work it out. It's done.
No.
Okay. Plainville, Quincy,
Yes.
Randolph,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
Stoughton,
Yes.
Walpole, must be out of touch again. Wellesley, Westwood, Weymouth, Rentham.
How are we including Walpole as no vote?
No vote. I didn't hear a vote.
All right, so I have 51.74 yes, 12.15 no.
Okay, so the motion passes. Then I will ask the county director to draft a letter that we can work on. I would ask that you advise the commissioners of this vote tonight, and that myself, Mr. Fitzpatrick, and Mr. Murby get the first chance of looking at the letter, and then we will go from there as far as edits. Maybe it's better if we do edits in groups. So the executive committee looks at it first, then passes it on to 4 or 5 members, then they pass it on to 4 or 5 members. This way, we're not breaking any quorum or open meeting rules. Does that sound reasonable?
A lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I agree, Paul.
Point of order. I just think you get the letter from John Cronin and you give it to us. And if we have to have a meeting, we do another painful meeting like this, we do it. Or else people could look at it and give comments back to John Cronin, anything they have. But I have full faith in John Cronin coming up with a good letter.
I agree, Charlie. All right, so John, we're advising you to revise the letter that can be sent on behalf under your signatory with the commissioners and the advisory board on behalf of the commissioners and the advisory board. And we can
Eric,
talk more. We can talk more in the future about that.
Eric, if I could just add one quick item, I know you're in a hurry to move this meeting along. But in the event that there's any kind of dialogue amongst the board, editing or giving feedback on the content of the letter, you must be mindful that that might be considered a violation of the open meeting law, as the board is conducting business by doing so.
Right. So what I would do is I would direct all members of the board that if you do have any questions or comments on the letter, you send them directly to the director, not copy any other members of this board. All right. And then the county director can take all of those comments together, and we can try to draft the letter that way. This way we are not in violation of open meeting law.
Point of order.
Yes.
If there's just a couple of members that are talking to each other, that's not illegal.
No, that's true.
It's going to be majority in a conversation or a serial conversation that puts you in harm's way.
As long as it's not a quorum, then you are correct. More than one member can speak by themselves. What I'm saying is that to protect ourselves from open meeting law, we're better off going directly to the county director with our comments. If you want to get together with 2 other people and you guys submit your comments together, be my guest. As long as you're not breaking, as long as you don't have a quorum, then you're okay.
Braintree, motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn and a second.
You got to drive home.
Do we need a vote to adjourn?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna go out of the drive.
Phil, when you're ready.
Okay.
Avon.
Aye.
Bellingham.
Aye.
Braintree.
Aye.
Brookline.
Aye.
Canton.
Yes.
Collaborating with the youth. We do
Dedham.
have.
Aye.
And then
Dover. Foxborough.
Aye.
Franklin.
Yes.
Holbrook. Medfield. Yes. Medway. Millis. Milton.
Yes.
Needham. Never mind. Norfolk. Norwood.
Yes.
Plainville. Quincy.
Yes.
Randolph.
Yes.
Sharon.
Yes.
Stoughton.
Yes.
Walpole. Wellesley. Westwood. Weymouth. Rentham. Phil, I didn't hear votes for Walpole, Norwood, or Norfolk.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, Needham. Sorry. Walpole, Needham, and Norfolk. Sorry, Helen.
It's unanimous anyway.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you all for your time tonight. I appreciate it. We will double back and we'll talk to you all soon.
Eric, thanks for your efforts.
Thank you very much.